Gopijanavalabha Girivaradari Gopijanavalabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Brajajana Anjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Anjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Tira Vanachari
Chapter number 25 and text number 9. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Chapter 25, the glories of devotional service, and Devahuti is explaining how only by the mercy of Kapila Dev can she exit the darkness of ignorance. And now we're on text number 9. Yaha, he who, Yaha Adaha Bhagavan Pumsam Ishvaraha Bhai Bhavan kila lokasya tamasa andasya chakshuhu suryaha eva udataha ya ado bhagavan pumsam ishvaro vaibhavan kila lokasya tamasandasya chakshu surya uvodita ya adyo bhagavan pumsam ishvaro vaibhavan kila lokasya tamasandasya chakshuhu surya ivoditaha ya adyo bhagavan pumsam ishvaro vaibhavan kila lokasya tamasandasya chakshuhu surya ivoditaha. One moment while we set up. Yadu Bhagavan Pumsam Ishvaro Vai.
Yadu Bhagavan Pumsam Yadu Bhagavan Pumsam
Yadyo Bhagavan Pungsam
Ishvaro Vaibhavan Kila
Ishwaro Vaibhavan Kila
Lokasya Tamasandasya
Lokasya Tamasandasya
Chakshusurya Ivoditaha
Chakshusuri
Ya Adyo Bhagavan Pungsam
Yadyo Bhagavan Pungsam
Ishvaro Vaibhavan Kila
Ishwaro Vaibhavan Kila
Lokasya Tamasandasya
Lokasya Tamasandasya
Chakshu Surya Ivoditaha
Ya Adyo Bhagavan Pungsam Ishvaro Vaibhavan Kila Lokasya Tamasandasya Chakshu Surya Ivoditaha
Yato Bhagavan Pumsa
Ya Adyo Bhagavan Pungsam
Ishvaravan
Ishvaro Vaibhavan Kila
Lokasya Tamasandasya
Lokasya Tamasandasya
Chakshu Surya Ivodita
Mother Alastan, I can go first.
Ya Adyo Bhagavan Pumsam
Ya Adyo Bhagavan Pungsam
Ishvara Vaibhavan Kila
Ishvaro Vaibhavan Kila
Lokasya Tamasandhasya
Lokasya Tamasandasya
Chakshu Surya Ivoditaha
Chakshusuri Mother Sattvananda.
Ya Adyo Bhagavan Pumsam
Ya Adyo Bhagavan Pungsam
Ishvaro Vaibhavan Kila
Ishvaro Vaibhavan Kila
Lokasya Tamasandasya
Lokasya Tamasandasya
Chakshu Surya Ivoditaha
Mother Karshmi.
Yatyo Bhagavan Pumsam Ishvaro Vai Bhagavan Kila Lokasya Tamasam Dasya Chakshu Surya Ivoditaha
Mother Russia.
या आद्यो भगवान् पुंसाम् ईश्वरो वै भवान् किल लोकस्य तमसान्धस्य चक्षुसूर्य इवोदितः
That's everyone.
The origin. Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Pumsam, of all living entities. Ishvaraha, the Lord. Vai, in fact. Bhagavan, you. Kela, indeed. Lokasya, of the universe. Tamasa, by the darkness of ignorance. Andasya, blinded. Chakshuhu, eye. Suryaha, the sun. Eva, like. Udhitaha, risen. Translation. You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the origin and Supreme Lord of all living entities. You have arisen to disseminate the rays of the sun in order to dissipate the darkness of the ignorance of the universe. Purport. Kapila Muni is accepted as an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Here the word Adya means the origin of all living entities, and Pumsam Ishvara means the Lord, Ishvara, of the living entities. Ishvara Parama Krishna. Kapila Muni is the direct expansion of Krishna, who is the sun of spiritual knowledge. As the sun dissipates the darkness of the universe, so when the light of the Supreme Personality of Godhead comes down, it at once dissipates the darkness of Maya. We have our eyes, but without the light of the sun, our eyes have no value. Similarly, without the light of the Supreme Lord, or without the divine grace of the spiritual master, one cannot see things as they are. Thank you for being here, devotees. We'll keep watch for any comments from you, Maharaj. Thank you for joining us today. So, here we have this tamasa. Ishvaro vai bhavan kila lokasya tamasandasya. Lokasya tamasandasya. Indeed, blinded by the darkness of ignorance, the whole universe. Chakshu Surya Iva Udita. Right? Chakshu Surya Iva Udita means you have risen to disseminate the rays of the sun in order to dissipate the darkness of the ignorance of the universe. Lokasya tamasandasya chakshu surya ivodita. Udita, to have arisen, chakshu, eye, surya. So we have tamasandasya, we're actually blinded by ignorance, our eyes, chakshu. Chakshu dhan diloje janme jame Prabhu say. The spiritual master, he gives the eye. What is that eye? That eye is the transcendental ability to perceive spirit. So when we hear the explanations of the spiritual master, then he actually blesses us with the potency to perceive spirit. And he does that by explaining to us the service attitude of the spiritual world. And because his heart is pure, then the words from the spiritual master actually purify the heart of the disciple. And this is why those without bhakti cannot purify their disciples, or, other words, to the extent of the purity of the spiritual master, he can purify his disciples to that extent. This is discussed in Nectar of Devotion, that one may choose a spiritual master who is not on the topmost level of devotion, but that spiritual master may elevate the disciple to a certain stage. In our case, we are understanding that Srila Prabhupada is that perfect Uttama Adhikari representing the Guru Parampara, and if we simply surrender to those associates that came before us who follow him as he has instructed them, then we will be connected with Srila Prabhupada's mercy and the Guru Parampara's mercy just the same. So we have to connect up with the current link of the disciplic succession, and we should rest assured that the Uttama Adhikaris of this disciplic succession will not be unkind to us in any circumstance. So by connecting up with ISKCON, Guru Parampara system, there is success at every turn. And I highly recommend everybody connect with ISKCON Guru Parampara system, because we can be safe that, oh, this is Srila Prabhupada's institution, this is Srila Prabhupada's system, then I want to get connected with his mercy. So I wanted to bring up a verse here which is speaking about the words of the pure devotees are like the pollen of the lotus feet. So the pollen of the lotus feet, there's a description about nice. So this is actually a different one. This is very interesting. So this goes with this also. It says here, CC Madhya 2585. Unless human society accepts the dust of the lotus feet of great Mahatmas, devotees who have nothing to do with material possessions, mankind cannot turn its attention to the lotus feet of Krishna. Those lotus feet vanquish all unwanted, miserable conditions of material life. This verse appears in the Srimad Bhagavatam 7.5:32. For an explanation, see Madhya Lila 22:53. So this is a verse actually spoken by Prahlad Maharaj. Unless they smear upon their bodies the dust of the lotus feet of a Vaishnava, completely freed from material contaminations, persons very much inclined toward materialistic life cannot be attached to the lotus feet of the Lord, who is glorified for his uncommon activities. Only by becoming Krishna conscious and taking shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord in this way can one be freed from material contamination. Purport. Becoming Krishna conscious brings about anartha apagamaha, the disappearance of all anarthas, the miserable conditions we have unnecessarily accepted. Prabhupada would often state that our suffering is due to ignorance only. The material body is the basic principle of these unwanted miserable conditions. The entire Vedic civilization is meant to relieve one from these unwanted miseries, but persons bound by the laws of nature do not know the destination of life, as described in the previous verse. Ishat Tantriyam Urudhamni Badha. They are conditioned by the three strong modes of material nature. The education that keeps the conditioned soul bound life after life is called materialistic education. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has explained that materialistic education expands the influence of Maya. Such an education induces the conditioned soul to be increasingly attracted to materialistic life and to stray further and further away from the liberation from unwanted miseries. One may ask why highly educated persons do not take to Krishna consciousness. The reason is explained in this verse. Unless one takes shelter of a bona fide, fully Krishna conscious spiritual master, there is no chance of understanding Krishna. The educated scholars and big political leaders worshipped by millions of people cannot understand the goal of life and take to Krishna consciousness, for they have not accepted a bona fide spiritual master and the Vedas. Therefore, in the Mundaka Upanishad 3.2.3, it is said, Nayam Atma Pravachanena Labhyo Namedhaya Nabuhuna Shrutena. One cannot become self-realized simply by having an academic education, by presenting lectures in an erudite way, pravachanena labhya, or by being an intelligent scientist who discovers many wonderful things. One cannot understand Krishna unless one is graced by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Only one who has surrendered to a pure devotee of Krishna and taken the dust of his lotus feet can understand Krishna. First, one must understand how to get out of the clutches of Maya. The only means is to become Krishna conscious. And to become Krishna conscious very easily, one must take shelter of a realized soul, a Mahat, or Mahatma. Those whose only interest is to engage in the service of the Supreme Lord. As the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 9.13, Mahatmanas tumam bharata Daivim prakritim ashritaha bhajantananyamanaso gyatva bhutadim avyayam. O son of Pritha, those who are not deluded, the great souls, are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. Therefore, to end the unwanted miseries of life, one must become a devotee. Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavatya kinchana sarvar gunastatra samasate sura. One who has unflinching devotional faith in Krishna consistently manifests all the good qualities of Krishna and the demigods. Yasya deve para bhaktir yatha deve tatha gurau tasyaite katitya yarta prakashante mahatmana. Only unto those great souls who have implicit faith in both the Lord and the spiritual master are all the imports of Vedic knowledge automatically revealed. Shvetashvatara Upanishad 6.23. Yam evaisha vrinute tena labhyas tasyaisha atma vivrinute tanum swam. The Lord is obtained only by one whom He Himself chooses. To such a person, He manifests His own form. Mundaka Upanishad 3.2.3. These are Vedic injunctions. One must take shelter of a self-realized spiritual master, not a materially educated scholar or politician. One must take shelter of a nishkinchana, a person engaged in devotional service and free from material contamination. That is the way to return home back to Godhead. So from today's verse, wonderful. Please wait a moment while we set everything up.
One second.
Alright, we can hear you.
Sometimes you can hear me, right? People ask, are there many religions, or how many ways are there to get to the perfection? And devotees may say, there's only one way. And what is that, they would say? And he says, become a devotee of God. That's actually true. Because Dharmam Sakshat Bhagavat Pranitam. There's only one God, not many gods. Not your God, not the Christian God, or the Buddhist God, or the Hindu God. There's one God. And He's the one who gives the final conclusions on what is Dharma, what is duty, what is right, what is wrong, what is morality. He knows. And when He says that, what it is, for example, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna personally, who is God Himself, is speaking, then the only duty, the only religion is just to follow it, exactly what He says, and as purely as possible. So being, in other words, a pure devotee of God, doing exactly what He says to do, is the only religion. And to the degree that I do that, then I'm religious, or I can make spiritual advancement. If I do it 100%, and that's pure devotee, anya bilashita shunyam jnana karma janavitam anakuyena krishnana shilanam bhakti-utama. Srila Rupa Goswami describes pure devotional services without any tinge of desire for material sense gratification or impersonal speculation about the absolute truth. That's pure devotional service. And if one reaches that stage, then that's the perfection. And if he hasn't received, let's say he's only gotten 50% there, then he's made 50% advancement. That's to his benefit. And if he continues on the path, following the guidance of the pure devotees, Mahajano Yena Gata Sapanta, follow the path of the 12 Mahajans, the great authorities, Dharmasya Tatam Nihitam Guhayam, then all the truth about Dharma or our duties, our occupation, becomes revealed to him in the heart because he follows the path of the pure devotees. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. So here at the end, Prabhupada says, similarly, without the light of the Supreme Lord or without the divine grace of the spiritual master, one cannot see things as they are. So this is the gift of the spiritual master. He's like compared to some glasses, and by his mercy, he can give vision to the disciple to actually understand what is actually Dharma, what is actually pleasing to Krishna. And we heard yesterday that the spiritual master is guiding from without, and the Chaitya Guru is guiding from within. And we have to match these, and because actually they are in harmony. That's the potency of the spiritual master. That's the Lord's will and the Lord's system. So that actually brings up the Mahajans, right? So we were just hearing Radya Godru Nityananda Mahajan Patiya Chenam Hata Jivara Karan Shuddhavan Janahe Shuddhavan Janahe Shuddhavan Janahe Shuddhavan Janahe Prabhu Ragya Vai Magi E Bhiksha Prabhu Ragya Vai Magi E Bhiksha Bolo Krishna Bhajo Krishna Koro Krishna Shiksha Bolo Krishna Bhajo Krishna Koro Krishna Shiksha Aparara Shunya Hoye Loho Krishna Nam Aparara Shunya Hoye Loho Krishna Nam Krishna Mata Krishna Pita Krishna Dhana Pran Krishna Mata Krishna Pita Krishna Dhana Pran. Oh, you didn't tell me it was here. No, just so that the voice can chant. Okay, sorry about that. Here it is. Krishna Samsara Koro Chari Anachar Krishna Samsara Koro Chari Anachar Jiva Doya Krishna Nam Sarva Dharma Sar Jiva Doya Krishna Nam Sarva Dharma Sar Nadia Godrume Nityananda Mahajan Nadia Godrume Nityananda Mahajan Patiya Chanam Hatta Jivara Karam Patiya Chanam Hatta Jivara Karam. It says, in the land of Nadia, on the island of Godruma, the magnanimous Lord Nityananda has opened up the marketplace of the holy name, meant for the deliverance of all fallen souls. O people of faith, O people of faith, by the order of Lord Gauranga, O brothers, I beg these three requests of you. Chant Krishna, worship Krishna, and teach others about Krishna. Being careful to remain free of offenses, just take the holy name of Lord Krishna. Krishna is your mother, Krishna is your father, and Krishna is the treasure of your life. Giving up all sinful activities, carry on your worldly duties only in relation to Lord Krishna. The showing of compassion to other souls by loudly chanting the holy name of Krishna is the essence of all forms of religion. Okay, would anybody like to add to the discussion today? Can you check online? Okay, so here we can understand that for the current age of Kali Yuga, the Mahajans have actually given this process of hearing and chanting the glories of Lord Krishna, the Sankirtan movement. And Lord Nityananda is personally executing this Yuga Dharma along with Haridas Thakur under the order of Lord Gauranga. And we have to take this mission as our life and soul. And we can see here that we have to be careful to remain free of offenses. Right? So this is also part of the instruction of the spiritual master. And if we can, and actually many times Prabhupada actually did instruct his disciples to chant free of offenses. So it means that we have to build a whole lifestyle and a whole consciousness. We have to allow ourselves to be very moldable by the spiritual master. And we have to guard against my own selfish tendencies, and they get in the way of my devotional service. And the whole time, just take the holy name of Lord Krishna. Aparada shunya hoye loho Krishna nam. Then, this is the science, Krishna Mata, Krishna Pita, Krishna Dhanapran. That this is the Sambandha Gyan. And actually the Sambandha Gyan, which we hear from the spiritual master, which teaches us who is Krishna in relation to ourselves, then we actually can do this. Aparada shunya hoye loho Krishna nam. Because if we don't have some information about Krishna, then how can we chant? And how can we develop the proper attitude of chanting the holy name? So therefore we continually hear about the glories of Lord Krishna and how he is everything for us. Krishna Dhanapran, Krishna Mata, Krishna Pita, Krishna Dhanapran. Krishnera Sangsara Korichari Anachar. Right? Give up all sinful activities. Give up all the sinful activities. Those are discussed in the Srimad Bhagavatam, right? That's also part of the instructions of the Mahajans for the age of Kali, is we have to give up the 4 pillars of sinful activities. We have to keep them far away by devotional service. And Prabhupada actually discussed this morning in the Lila Amrita, where he was actually describing that materialistic education, which we heard about in the purport to the verse which spoke about taking the dust of the Lord's pure devotees. Materialistic education, like even just to be able to be readable, to read, to be literate, he said this was actually a waste of time for the persons of Bhubaneswar who actually were simply coming to the temple to get some khichdi, and they don't actually care for the science of Krishna to a large extent. And how can they? Because they're simply starving. So the concept is that such persons should not be given materialistic education, which will just spur them on to try to get more material facilities, which they're so anxious for. Rather, they should be given the Krishna science, and they should be engaged in the activities of simple living and high thinking. So actually, there's another verse that I was looking at, and it was this. Which one was it? It was Bhuya Tomare. This is an amazing song which talks about this concept of being in ignorance, which we heard about in today's verse, and also how materialistic education is not always productive without bhakti, or rather, it's unproductive without bhakti. I forsake you, O Lord, or I forsook you. right? O Lord, and came to this world of pain and sorrow. Now I submit my tale of woe at your lotus feet. While still in the unbearable shackles of my mother's womb, I saw you before me, and you revealed yourself but briefly, and then abandoned this poor servant of yours. At that moment I swore to worship you after taking birth, but birth came, and with it the network of a worldly illusion which robbed me of all good sense. As a fondled son in the lap of relatives, I passed my time smiling and laughing. My parents' affection helped me to forget the pangs of birth, and I thought the world was very nice. Day by day I grew and soon began playing with other boys. Shortly my powers of understanding emerged. I read and studied my lessons incessantly. Traveling from place to place, proud of my education, I grew wealthy and maintained my family with undivided attention. O Lord Hare, I forgot you. Now in old age, Bhaktivinoda is sad. He weeps. I failed to worship you, O Lord, and instead passed my life in vain. What will be my fate now? So we're very, very fortunate to have been graced by the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada, and we pray that we may take his lotus feet as our life and soul and connect up to the Guru Parampara with undeviated determination. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees.
Krishna.